Sir, yes,
Yeah,
proceed.
now it started. Yeah. Shall I start, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Very good evening to all of you. It's a very good moment for all the microbiologists, biologists, and biotechnologists here because it's a new topic for you all people. It's the introduction to biopharmaceuticals. And today's speaker is Mr. Ujjwal Pultambekar, sir. So, Ujjwal, sir, is a very wide skill in biotechnology. He has expertise in cell culture, fermentation, protein chemistry, fermentation technology, downstream processing, biopharmaceuticals, chromatography, many more. Ujjwal sir, he has just completed his graduation from Akola Shivaji College, and he's completed his master degree from Nagpur University in the biotechnology. Ujjwal sir, he has his first job at Wokhawd Limited at Biotech Park at Aurangabad. Thereafter, he as an executive officer in a biologics in 2013 at Bangalore. Thereafter, Ujjwal sir has also worked as assistant manager and at Dr. Reddy's laboratory in 2014. Thereafter, in 2016, Ujjwal sir has also played as a role as an assistant manager in a quality assurance in a Sonafy Laboratories Pharma Industry, which is in Hyderabad. He has worked as a sterility assurance. His work for the QA for the sterility assurance for DS, that is a bulk level, in a manufacturing and in process quality assurance for a DP. Ujjwal sir is currently working as assistant manager in a quality assurance laboratory. That is the name of the laboratory is Serum Institute of India Private Limited in Pune. He's working there in the last from 2018. And as you know that the Serum Institute of India is a very good organization or laboratories in the pharma sector who is manufacturing or producing the vaccine. So this is very good and what I can say expert person, a suitable person for the introduction to the biopharmaceuticals because there are the many questions. All the biologists very well know about the yes what is the scope in microbiology, what is the scope in biotechnology, but Dr. Deshmukh sir has already told me this. The biopharmaceutical is also it's a wide scope for the microbiologists as well as biotechnology also. So I will not take that much of time. So I will request Mr. Ujjwal sir, please guide our student and just focus on the introductions of the biopharmaceutical. What are the opportunities and what are the scope for their career as well as in another sector. So over to Ujjwal sir.
Yeah, good evening all and good evening all respected sirs and
Sir, please
dear
1 minute,
colleagues
1 minute. 1 minute.
yes,
I want to
yes,
give instruction to all students that don't click on presenting. Don't interfere. Otherwise, I will remove you. And audio also, your audio should be off. Take the precaution. Okay, thank you. Proceed.
Yes, sir. Yes.
yeah. So good evening all respected seniors and dear my friends and colleagues microbiologists and biotechnologists biologists. So today I am here to you to introduce what exactly happened in biopharmaceutical industries or in pharmaceutical industries. To an overview, so what are the departments are there, what they are working, what is their role, and how we can fit in that role. So you will get awareness about that, what are the areas are working in the industry. So I will just start. The first initial department of the biopharmaceutical, it is R&D, that is research and development, where there will be a lots of research is going on regarding the molecule and the discovery of the drug. Then another department is the MSAT, that is manufacturing science and technology, or some people called as a process development. So there is a research molecule which is already discovered, so that needs to be scaled up and with some higher scale, so that it happen in the process development lab. Then next to that, then another department is manufacturing, where the developed molecule is technology transferred to that manufacturing scale and actual commercial manufacturing is happened in that area. So in the manufacturing, there are different sections in biologics. That is one is bulk manufacturing, another is formulation, then another is aseptic filling, then visual inspection, then another is labeling and packing. Another department is quality control, where there are different labs in the quality control. One is QC microbiology, QC chemistry or water chemistry, then QC molecular biology, QC animal testing, and QC analytical. Another department is that is quality assurance. So quality assurance, because what we are working in the regulatory market, so everything will be regulated by the different guidelines and the different regulatory agencies. So for that, compliance is very important. So in that aspect, quality assurance will work. And there are different another sections under the quality assurance are like IPQA, that is called as in-process quality assurance. Another is QA validation, which will take care about the validation activities which is required for the process and equipment and other areas. Then QA is another is QA QMS, that is QA quality management system. So what quality management system? There are different system of the quality management, like change control, deviations, quality risk management, vendor management, internal audit. So all this will be taken care by the QMS. Then another department is QA sterility assurance. What QA sterility assurance is take care that we are working all in a sterile injectable industry. So sterility assurance is the soul of this. So for taking care of this, there is a QA sterility assurance which will take care about all these concepts and activities. QA documentation cells, there are the records, management, and archival destruction that will be taken care by the QA documentation cell. Another more important is that QA training department. QA training department which take care about all the trainings which is required for the good employee and as a good calibrated regulated market candidate. Then we'll move to another department, that is engineering department. So engineering department will be having different another sections also, like mechanical engineer, automation engineer, electrical engineer, and process engineer. So what exactly these engineers do? They will be having different role in the equipment designing, their URSs, preventive maintenance, calibration, verifications of the equipment and instruments. Another department, and which is a very important department, is regulatory affairs, which will be taking care of all development, regulatory pathways, regulatory clinical trial submissions, regulatory dossier submission, which will be taken care by the regulatory affairs, including licensures of the product. This is just a short introduction to the industry. What are the departments which will be running inside the biopharmaceutical industry? Hello, I am audible to all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can continue, sir.
Yeah. Now, one by one, I will start explaining to the some another level of this. Like just example, now manufacturing. So manufacturing, there will be different section, as I told, bulk, formulation. So in the bulk, what exactly happens? Bulk, there will be a cell will grow, and in the seed, that will be higher scale with the fermenter bioreactor. Then it is harvested and purified with your target molecule. So there are two things in the bulk. One is upstream and another is downstream. So one is upstream and another downstream. And upstream, there will be a growing of cells. So it will be started. It will be started with the initial, like a cell is good in the conical flask. Then it will be, if it is a bacterial cell culture, then it will be a growing conical flask. If it is a mammalian cell culture, it will be grow in the tissue culture flask with their required optimization parameter of the cell growth, like relative humidity or their CO2, pH, media, concentration. Like in mammalian cell culture, it is osmolality. Then after that, the seed will be inoculated to the seed fermenter, which is a small scale fermenter. Then after the optimized growth from the bacterial cell or the mammalian cell, which will be confirmed by the in-process analysis, which will be taking, if it is a bacteria, it will be take optical density. If it is a mammalian cell culture, then it will take a cell count, cell viability. And particular achieving to that in-process criteria, it will be transferred to another stage in a production scale bioreactor. So in the production scale bioreactor or a fermenter, the cell will grow and also our target molecule is also inside the cell. If it is extracellular, it is outside cell. If it is intracellular, it is inside the cell. Then once that required target incubation period is over, then that cell will be harvested and purified with the purification technology. So in the purification technology, there will be different downstream techniques will be used. Like example, centrifuge, TFF is a tangential flow filtration. Then chromatography, different types of chromatographies will be used, like anion exchange chromatography, affinity chromatography, to separate the target molecule and the host cell media and host cell protein, etc. After this purification, once we achieved our target molecule, then it will be formulated with a particular our formulation ingredient and with a particular composition. Once that formulation is over, then it is go for sterile filling. So it will be filled in a sterile, all a filling machine is there. So that filling machine is start with the content of a vial. We can see in the injection, maybe hope we have seen the vial. So this type of vials will be first initially it is there will be a vial washing machine. With the help of vial washing machine, this vial will get washed. Then it will be depyrogenated by using a depyrogenation tunnel. With that, after the tunnel, it will be come to the filling. There will be filling needles which will be inject this into the vial, and it will the product will be filled into the inside the vial. Then another section of that machine is called as sealing and capping, which will be capped and stop. First, it will be stopper with the vial, and then it will be sealed and capped. Then it will be collected, then visually inspected this vial. Once these vials are visually inspected for the defects, there are different certain defects categories of the vials. So once that damaged part is separated and good vials are collected, these good vials are sent for packing and labeling. So this is all the complete process flow of a biopharmaceutical or any pharmaceutical also. Then coming to another department is quality control. So quality control, as I already mentioned, there are different sections. One is QC microbiology. So QC microbiology plays a very important vital role because we are working in a sterile industry, and to microorganism free, it is very important. So there will be lots of testing will be conducted in the microbiology lab, like media field study, incubation, then environmental monitoring, what we had done in the area that will be identified by the microbiology. So there is a vital, very strong and very vital role of microbiology in this quality control lab. Another is QC molecular biology, because we all are working in the biopharmaceutical. So in that there will be different stage like SDS page, HPLC, and PCRs. Lots of techniques will be used to identify the molecules, their host cell DNAs, and etc. So in that QC molecular biology plays a great role. Another is QC chemistry. So QC chemistry majorly deals with the raw material and the ingredient, which are the real chemicals which will be used in the media preparation and other activities. So such material will be tested, released by this quality control chemistry. Another is QC water testing. That is QC because water plays a very important role in the pharmaceutical, because everything solution shall be prepared by water only. So there will be majorly two types of water will be used. One is PW and another is WFI. So these water will be released, tested periodically with the particular frequency, and it will be released for routine use by this department. And coming to another department is quality assurance. Now, quality assurance, which I told first section, is IPQA. So that IPQA, what is the in-process quality assurance? So it will assure the all compliance level at the shop floor, where is the exactly the manufacturing is going on. So one part is the very important is line clearance. So what is line clearance is that the quality people will go and it will check all the attire of the what is the required for the compliance. There will be to avoid the cross contamination and to having a better compliance with the field of checklist, and then it will be, once it is clear by quality assurance, then it will be start for the manufacturing. Meanwhile, IPQA plays a very important role in the review of the batch records. There are the certain batch records which will be filled by the manufacturing persons. in that area, and that will be reviewed by the IPQA persons, and they will be give review comments. If anything is there, they will file compile all these comments. Then another department subsection of the QA is QA validation, which will be taking for the equipment validation. Every equipment which is used, every machine it is used for the manufacturing, it should be validated. So QA validation played a very important role from the URS to all IQ, OQ, PQ, everything. Then also it will be take another validation approaches like a process validation, cleaning validation, and aseptic media fill validation, and other validations which will be required like a transport validation, cold chain validation, etc. Then another department is QA audit management. So we are working in a regulated industry. So in that industry, we have to stick with the regulatory, and there will be a frequent audit and inspection, which will be checked all you are complying with the regulatory, what is the requirement. So that audit, inspection and management will be handled by this QA audit management team. Then QMS, that is QA quality management system. So quality management system are having a different role. One is there will be different tools which will be used for the compliance. One is change control, another is deviation, then another is quality risk management. So what exactly the change control? So change control in the regulated industry, if you have to do anything, change from certain things, it has to be go through a particular document, particular approval of the change, and particular assessment on impact assessment of that change. In that case, people will file a change control that will be evaluated by the different expertise in the cross-functional department, which I already mentioned in previous my introduction. And then this change control will be filed, approved, and certain change will be happen. Then another part is the deviation. So what exactly the deviation? Deviation is the departure from any standard procedure. So we have a standard procedure. Means what is the standard procedure? That is called as SOP. So if you have to run any equipment, there is a standard protocol which you have to follow that only. We should not do any other from other activity. So that activity, if any get departure from that particular statement or the particular activity, then we should file a deviation. Now, why it is required to file a deviation? Because there is something which is departure, which may lead to failure, which may impact to the batch, which may impact to the product. So that failure need to be investigated. So that is the purpose of the deviation. So why it is required to investigate? Because that needs to be find a root cause of that particular event to avoid recurrence and prevent this such type of failure. So this activity will be taken by the QA QMS team. So this is just a small introduction, and anyone having a question, please, I'm open to questions. Mangesh sir, maybe you will be guide more light on this if I had missed something.
Ujjwal, very
Sir?
nice. You briefed. Should I speak?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Please,
sir, yes,
please.
yes.
Yeah. Ujjwal, very nice. You briefed the different departments and the role and function of the department. I just add what Ujjwal has said and narrated. The actual role of the microbiologist or biotechnologist in the particular department. I just add few lines to that. See, in biopharmaceutical company, the major is the fermentation. And the role of microbiologist in fermentation is in the different department, like, R&D, research and development, where Ujjwal has made a mention about development of molecule and all. So the microbiologist and the biotechnologist, what they do is do the shake flask, which theoretically they learn development of inoculum and then do the production on shake flask and try to develop a molecule, or in other word, in other department like process development, the existing molecule is being improved by way of productivity increase, or maybe the cheaper raw material is being used to reduce the cost. These are the department where the microbiologist and biotechnologist plays a role. There is a R&D where shake flask as well as lab fermenters are being used. Then production, actual commercial manufacturing, where the microbiologist plays a very important role because they learn sterility, sterile trials, aseptic handling and all. The other area is RA, that is regulatory affair, where they know the microbiology and biotechnology and hence they play an important role. Second is process development. In fermentation, we have two microbiologist lab. One is in quality control, another is in process development or seed, or which is called as an inoculum lab. So microbiologists do work there. Production, in production also, it's a pilot plant is also there and a commercial production. So they plays a role in production as well as in pilot plant as well. In some cases, microbiologists do work in downstream processing, as Ujjwal has worked in, Wokhard. Yes, Ujjwal. In
Yes, sir,
downstream
yes,
also, you do have a microbiologist working.
yes, yes,
Of course,
yes,
in
upstream and downstream.
formulation. Another area
Yes.
in biopharmaceutical is animal cell line or rDNA technologies, where a microbiologist and a biotechnologist both plays an important. So these are the areas where a microbiologist and biotechnologist have a scope to work in industry. Another area is marketing or marketing technical support to different equipments, different product. So these are the different areas where the microbiologists, they do an important role and they have a scope to work in industry. I'm through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, over to Dahikar, sir.
Yeah. One question is there, Ujjwal sir and Patgaonkar sir, from Pritha Mukherjee ma'am. Pritha ma'am, are you online? Pritha ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
please.
I'm on there.
Yeah. It will be better if you ask or interact with Ujjwal sir and Mangesh sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. To Patgaonkar sir and Fulmankar sir, thank you for your introduction. Actually, I come from a background of BSc microbiology and post-graduation in biotechnology, so it's a mixed background. And then I have done my PhD in cancer biology, molecular biology, and it was more of signaling part where it was a lot of association with molecules and cellular structures. So the entire focus of my career up till now has been with basic research mostly.
Right.
But I do have a great interest to join industry, and I'm from Kolkata. I'm from Calcutta University, so my entire training has taken place in Calcutta University itself. And when I was in the biotech department, we had a chance of getting exposed to different industry, how the processes are working and how people can get absorbed. And it was through your talk also I have come to know about the different departments. Now, I wanted to ask you about the practical scenario. Like, given this kind of background, if I, after completing my PhD, now if I want to join an industry, where do I stand? Especially given this scenario after COVID, seeing situations of acceptance and intake capacities have also changed as per we are seeing through different modes. So what is your suggestion or what is your guidance to me in this scenario? Will I be able to join the industry? And if so, then what kind of industry should I be preferred in? Or how should I start the process?
Yeah, it's a good question, a very good question. That actually you had already worked in the research like cancer, right?
Yes.
So in the biopharmaceutical, there are lots of oncological drugs research will be going on, like in monoclonal antibodies and biotherapeutics or another oncological drugs which will be used for the cancer. So where you can expose to yourself in the research and development area of researching in such molecules.
Okay. Do you think that people coming from a basic research background and PhD who has done overall research work, do you think that before going to industry, we need to have some training which is needed to get absorbed, because we'll be treated as freshers? Like, though we have experience, but we are still freshers in industry. So is there any bridge?
Correct, correct. It will be a good added advantage that if you are already having some training on particular techniques and particular projects, so that will be help you to your professional career to make up, ramp up yourself easily into the environment and to have a fast speed up of your career opportunities.
Okay. Are there any training such facilities available in India now? I mean, can you, sir, give us one or two examples like where we can apply?
Yes, there are different industrial training will be happen with different organizations.
Okay.
One is so they will be take some technical training and they will do some assignment particular that period and they will train on such activities.
Okay. So we should go about for different searching organizations or industries where such trainings are taking place. I mean, they are available in India, as you say.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Any example particularly for helping us? I mean,
Example I
I'm-
can't told you, but there are industries which will do these activities.
okay.
Now, one industry in Bangalore is a Biocon. They do have their
Yes.
Biocon Academy.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
so they do conduct kind of a training for to increase an employability of the freshers, basically. So having some basic knowledge imparted to the freshers, it will be better that they can get into the industry much faster than the normal student.
Okay.
Number one.
Right.
Number two, to Dr. Pita, for you, very rightly, today the scenario in India, especially in the field of biotechnology and microbiology, the industry can't afford to have a very basic research, to be very frank with you.
Yes.
What
Right.
generally in industry is being, majority of the industries, what they do is process development than the basic research.
Absolutely.
Because I'll give an example of making a molecule, selling it into the market,
Right.
and it is a today's need. Immediately the industry go for it. Maybe
Right.
after 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, the molecule is out of box, like
Out of
penicillin or so. Now today
Absolutely.
nobody knows the penicillin. This is what is a scenario in industry. Maybe in US, Canada, South Korea, and Australia and all, they do basic research. Even they have a very good facilities. Even today, we have a very good facilities in India. The best
Yes.
of the best facilities are available in Indian pharmaceutical companies for research.
Right.
But
Right.
majority of the work which is going on in the industry is process development.
Absolutely.
Majority I'm talking about. I'm not
Right.
completely saying that there is no basic research at all, but the majority of the thrust is given by industry because that's a bread and butter actually.
Absolutely. The
So
application-based work is more important there.
very, very
Right.
important, and they do. But as usual said, that there are people, those who work on, the oncology, and they do some, molecular biology kind of a work for kind of a techniques and all. So this is what is. Another thing is your question regarding any industry or any academics which they provide kind of a training. So this is one of the example, Biocon I told you. But
Yes.
what happens is in industry, if you have an relevant experience of your research, which
Right.
the industry is interested in, then
Okay.
definitely they directly recruit you there as their employee, and then you can be given full freedom to work in their R&D. So
Okay, sir.
your research experience itself is experience for an industry. So if whatever product or whatever line they are interested in, your experience is relevant to them, they
Yeah.
directly recruit to you. I mean,
Okay.
with your experience and your research work, there may be industry which may interested in you.
Absolutely.
So you can
Okay.
think of that.
Right.
Right.
Thank you
Right.
so much, sir.
Mangesh sir.
Thank you.
Hello,
Yeah,
Mangesh sir.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Hello, Mangesh sir.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yes, yes. I want to ask you one question. Being in academics for so many years, I am Dr. Aarti Deshpande, working
Please.
in Akola
Yeah.
for UG College mostly.
Yeah.
So, what changes in academics or syllabi are required on the university level so that our students become competent for getting recruited in this field and going ahead?
I can give few examples like, years on years we are, if it is a fermentation, years on years we are only teaching the students like, Casida and Prescott. Maybe are we have gone beyond that? I mean, today's scenario I am not really aware about. I'm just asking.
Yes, still it is the same.
Still it is Casida and Prescott, right?
Yes, yes.
So we should go much beyond that. There are requirement like, what happens is the microbiologists, biotechnologists, they compete with the biochemical engineer basically. On a plant, when I look at a person, if he is only a microbiologist or a biotechnologist vis-a-vis a biochemical engineer or biotechnology engineer, they have a tech and engineering part of it. Whereas our
Yes.
students, those who are BSc or MSc in microbiology or in biotechnology, they have only theoretical bio part of it. Even if MSc biotechnology, we don't teach them tech part of it,
Yes, yes,
technology
right.
part of
That's
it.
right. Yes, yes, yes.
So my strong suggestion to many of the seniors sitting or in the today's meet that they should try to add some tech part of it, some engineering part of it. It
Yes,
will
that's right.
increase the better employability to our student actually.
Yes,
Our
sir. Yes.
students are absolutely no doubt they are very good in microbiology or biotechnology, the bio part of it, but the tech
Yes.
part of it lacking somewhere. Wherein when they come for an interview, if I look at them, a biochemical engineer or a biotechnology engineer, both of them, if they are going to work on a plant, my student as a microbiologist know that microbiology, the sterilization, sterility part of it, sterile transfer, inoculum preparation and all. Whereas the
Yes.
biochemical or biotechnology engineer knows how to pass the air, what should be the requirement, what is the steam requirement, what is the chilled water requirement, which is actually a day-to-day, day in and day out requirement on the floor. So
Yes.
if we could add little bit of that, at least at graduation level and PG, of absolutely at least a 1 or 2 papers of tech kind of a thing, basic technical requirements. That will
Yes.
definitely added an advantage to the students' employability.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
Thank you,
can I
sir.
say something?
please.
Yes. Who is speaking?
My name is Aniket Patil.
Aniket, sir. Yes, you can. You can please.
Mangesh sir, I totally agree with your suggestion that yes, there is need of having some internship or training at industry, because engineers do get training at their last semester in industry, or they have to pursue their project in industry. But what happens in BSc or MSc, there is less, or I can say that there is today no kind of such opportunity that students have chance to pursue research or have to pursue internship or training in industry. So that should also be included into the syllabus, that during the last semester students should pursue their project into the industry, so that they can get good idea, and if their performance is good, that industry itself can absorb them over there for job employment.
Yeah, good, Aniket. Right. I agree.
So that is a lacunae between engineers and BSc and MSc students. And these trainings initiate or inspire the students very much. Means what we can say, the whatever the kind of jugaad we know, means engineers are more, they have more applied knowledge as compared to BSc and MSc. BSc and MSc students have more core fundamental. Means they should be also acquired with this industrial application. That's what my statement.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Yes, there are few questions in chat box. Daikar sir. Some student has
Yes, sir.
asked.
Yes, sir. Yeah. One question is asked by Ajit Jagtap. Ajit Jagtap, are you online?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you ask your question?
Am I audible properly?
Yeah,
Yes,
you are.
yes, you are audible.
Yeah, you are audible. Please.
Sir, my question is about after completion of MSc in biotechnology. As a biotechnologist, we can, as sir said, in pharmaceutical we join. If there is any, after graduation, if there is any opportunity in the pharmaceutical, this is first question. If there is a job after MSc, are there after MSc? So what skills are required by him or her? What handling and all these things we know in basic manner. We know what skills are, but our guests they are work over there, so they know better than us. So what skills are required? Yes, this question is there. And third question is about whole the guest and uh, to today's guest explain about all the things, all about departments. Third question is about how many package for the MSc or after MSc as a experience gain, how many salary or how many package are given by a pharmaceutical in the pharmaceutical. This is the third. Thank you.
Yeah. Good question, Ajit. So, coming to your first question, that what are the skills and required? So, with my experience, when I was on a fresher, I doesn't was no any awareness about the industry. That is the first thing. So, what is the skill? What I think is required is that when we are fresher, we at the academic stage, right? So, we should wholly have a good knowledge and what we have learned in our academic. So, that is the first thing. Right. So whatever you run, microbiology, molecular biology, whatever the techniques and the practical demonstration, what we had done in our academic, we should confident about that. And once we expose to our industry, we should have a dedication to our work. There should be a proper training, proper guide, and we should do everything what we can get a better professional. So that thing we can do.
And two more questions, like, what is the scope after BSc? It is as good as what you have scope after MSc. Number one. Number two, only thing is in R&D, process development, industry prefers a postgraduate and a doctorate. Whereas all the other departments, you can work even after graduation. That's the question. The third one, which you asked about the package. See, if you are a fresh MSc,
Yes, sir. Yes.
generally the package in the industry is about 2 to 2.5 lakhs, or maybe between 2 to 3 lakhs in some good size, good industry.
Yes, sir. Sir, another question is asked by Akhil Karandikar. He's a student of M.Pharm Biotechnology from Sanjivani College. He's asking which basic point should a PhD student work as a biotechnologist to do research in industry?
Can you repeat, sir, once again?
Yeah, Akhil, are you online?
Yes, sir.
Akhil, yeah, please, Akhil. Yeah.
Yes, sir. My question was on which basic point should a PG student means he should focus on to do research in the industry, such as on which topics, such as sterilization or fermentation, which basic points he should be perfect in.
No, it is all. In fact, one point cannot be pointed like, this is a basic point. One should be very perfect or so. It's whatever. First of all, it's your liking in a project or in research.
Yes, sir.
What you like more, you can excel in that.
Yes, sir.
But there is nothing like the sterilization. Sterilization is a very small part in one of the activities on the floor or in the lab or wherever you work. So
Yes, sir.
I'm not very clear on your question, Ujjwal.
Yeah, actually, as Mangesh sir told, so we should have all the expertise. Means once you come into the particular exposure to that area, suppose now I had done MSc. In your MSc or MTech, you had learned all
Is
the
M.Pharm.
M.Pharm. Okay, in your M.Pharm, M pharmaceuticals, you had learned all your academics. But once you get an opportunity to that particular area, suppose you had joined in a QA. So
Yes, sir.
QA having certain roles like IPQA, which I told IPQA or quality management system. So once you get exposed to that section, then you can think for the expertise with that area. So with that early level at the academic, it is not of that much good. I think that we should particularly focus on one point, as Mangesh has told. So we should having all concept and all areas should be aware.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Professor Vivek Kumar is from Dehradun. Vivek sir, are you online? Vivek sir from Dehradun, Uttarakhand. Any comments? Okay.
Sir,
Another
may I ask
question,
one?
sir, is from Aniket. Yes.
Yes, thank you, sir. Sir, I want to ask one question
One
that
question from
if I am working in an industry, then how, as a point of making more progressive career or to have growth by acquiring the way of management, means MBA. So how about pursuing MBA part-time while working in industry, and what will be the benefits of having MBA degree in biopharmaceutical industry? One example is there is MBA in biopharma specialization at Pune University. So that is, I think so, as per my knowledge, it is only the government institute where MBA biopharma course is being taught, where pharmaceutical management and business related syllabus is covered. So how about performing MBA in such specialization, and how it will be beneficial? Am I clear to all of you?
Yes, Ankit, your
I will
so it is
drop the question.
hello,
I will drop the question into the chat box.
hello.
Yes, sir.
So see what you mentioned about this MBA in biopharmaceutical. Yes, exactly. I don't know about the syllabus. What is mentioned is it's in Pune University. But anything you learn apart from your academics when you are in the career of your faith, so that will be definitely give a added value when create a different opportunities to you. So which may excel yourself with the different level in your professional career. That thing I can tell to you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes, another questions is asked by Snehal Chaudhary. Snehal ma'am, and you can interact with Vijwal sir and Mangesh sir.
Yes, sir, I'm
Snehal
there.
ma'am, are you online?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Sir, I have question that should the PG fresher have to do any specific courses to enter the industries like R&D development or the pharmaceuticals industries?
No,
I'm
nothing like that. But if you do that, if there is, and currently, if any criteria, it is not asked a specific course. But definitely, you are having a specific course, definitely it will give a added advantage to a recruitment of particular area for a particular recruiter.
Okay, sir. Like what courses can we apply for that?
That may be like a course in molecular biology. There will be short-term course in molecular biology in the different techniques like SDS page, how to handle instruments like HPLC, GC, how to handle. Then course related to PCR. Then there are some short-term certificate courses which will be having a diploma or certificate in GMP, regulatory affairs, quality assurance. So there will be lots of institute which will be providing these courses, but that will be give added value to you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Miss Nehal, you are student or faculty?
No, sir, I'm student, PG
Great,
student. And
great. So what
uh,
initially about basically the student or they need to identify is their liking, their choice, because many of the students, even if they complete their graduation or post graduation, they are not aware about the different department and activities in the different department as usual. And I try to little bit share these things with you all people. So first, if you know certain things, then it is fine. Then there are different courses which are available to work in R&D, to work in regulatory affairs, to know the good manufacturing practices as far as manufacturing practices or production departments are concerned. So identify your liking. Where do you really want to work? Do you want to work in a research, do some research, or want to work on a floor to cater the requirement, or to work in a marketing? So try to identify that first, and then join for some courses after your graduation or post graduation. They are all 6 months, 3 months, 1 year courses kind of a things. And then you can excel into the courses, then your employability will be better as far as industry is concerned.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir. It was such a great guidance.
Yes, next question is asked by Shiv Kumar Yadav. Shiv Kumar, are you online? Shiv Kumar? Yeah. I'm not
Yes,
getting
sir.
your questions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, my question is
Yes, please.
to like we have a syllabus in our like I'm doing pharmaceutical biotechnology. So do that syllabus we having do is compatible with the industry which is now current scenario, and how much do we have a chance like what is there's a gap between the knowledge in academics and in the industry.
So, Shiv Kumar, can you told what syllabus you are having?
So syllabus I got like in the current sir we have a syllabus like fermentation,
Okay.
bioprocess engineering, and
Okay.
so advanced biotechnology. Like in that, sir, there are stem cell or other there is listed, sir. But do all the things that is compatible with the industry currently, like what we study?
Yes, yes, yes. It is. Yes, it is. Because, but you need to have a practical exposure about all these techniques. If you learn a fermenter in a book, then it will be aware about the fermentation. It will grow organism. It will be having a different walls, different connection. That you are aware as a theoretically. But when you expose to your practical, then you will come to know the gap between your syllabus and the academic.
Okay, sir.
Sir, correct. So we can take one more question, then we can conclude today's session. So anyone is interested, please. Ayush, are you online?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, please.
Sir, can you elaborate about tech part of tech part? What should a microbiologist can do? What it
Yeah,
includes?
Ayush, are you from which institute and what you are doing currently? Miss, are you?
I'm pursuing my third year in BSc Microbiology from Modern College, Ganesh Kit, Pune.
Great, great. Yeah, please.
Okay.
Okay,
Hello.
good question, Avish.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Ujjwal, please go on.
Yeah, Ayush, it's a good question that even early phase of your graduation, you are thinking about what is your role in industry and the role of microbiology in industry. It is nice to listen to hear this. So in microbiology, so all drugs manufactured as a sterile. So there is lots of scope of microbiology. First thing is that there will be environmental monitoring. So in that environmental monitoring, QC incubations and all these details are there. So you need to identify what are the organisms. Suppose there are the plate which is having Astridium media, which is exposed into the area, and if any organism present in that area, which will be grown into that media. So you need to identify such techniques of identification of microorganisms. Then another, as a microbiologist, you need to collect the water samples inside the facility. So that water samples will be checked for the specification of the water WFI, like a TOC, bioburden, and conductivity. So there also microbiologists play a very vital role. So these are some examples which I can tell.
Ayush, I just add what Ujjwal has said. Your question was very specific about the tech part. What should be the tech part, right? Are you online?
Yes, Ayush.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, tech part, what I mean earlier was, and now I little bit elaborate on that, that suppose, see, you're on a plant, and if it is a fermentation plant, so you need to transfer one liquid from one place to another place aseptically. Now, what should be the pressure I should take into the vessel, in the transferring vessel and the receiving vessel? Say I want to sterilize the media, and what should be my steam requirement? I have to take the temperature of my media from 30 degree to 122 and to hold it for maybe 30 minutes or so, and then cool it to the normal temperature so as to receive the seed. Now, microbiologists know the sterilization. He can do the sterilization. He can perform some activities like heating the media, holding it at 122 degree temperature, and then cooling, chilling to a 30 degree temperature, and then transfer a seed and start the process of fermentation. Now, where the microbiologist or a biotechnologist, MSc and BSc lacks is the knowledge of requirement of steam, requirement of chilled water or cooling water to cool that temperature, cool to that temperature. So that kind of a tech part, there are different walls, different transfers, lifting, using of pumps, different control walls, like, PID controls, like these kind of a basic requirement which is there on the floor is needed to be added in the syllabus of BSc and MSc of microbiology and biotechnology, which will definitely add an advantage for students. This is what is the basic tech part which I mean. Hope
Okay.
I'm clear.
Yes, sir, you are clear. Thank you, sir. As you said earlier, there is a Biocon courses. Can you suggest some of them?
Biocon is a biopharma industry. They do have a Biocon Academy.
Yes.
I will share it with Deshmukh sir and Daikar sir. You can get it from there. Sir, I will share it with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure.
The email and contact details of Biocon Academy.
Yeah.
So you can share with the students or faculties so that they can share with their students.
Yeah, sure, sir. I will share definitely.
Yeah.
Rita ma'am, yes, you have one questions.
Yes, just one more thing to ask Dr. Mangesh sir and Ujjwal sir. Sir, I have seen in a few places that there are some industry-sponsored projects which are run in different research labs. Like, for example, there is a Mintax fellowship, not in India, outside. So I just want, and it's a good advantage because I have seen people who are working in those research projects, they get absorbed in the industry then and there. I mean, right after their project tenure is ended in the lab, they can go back and join industry. So I just wanted to ask both of you, sir, that whether any such facilities available in our country now. I mean, is there any industry academia bridge or any industry project which is running in the research labs, and then if we work there, we can go back directly to the industry? Or if we join in such research projects, we can be absorbed in industries?
No, I'm really not aware about.
Okay.
Yeah, at least at this moment.
Pritha ma'am,
Yes, sir.
what is a question in your mind? That is also question in front of Microbiology Society.
Yes,
And definitely we are trying for it.
absolutely.
So we'll take the help of Ujjwal Hultambekar
Yes, sir.
Mangesh
Yes.
Padgaonkar, and many other
Right.
industrial microbiologists.
Absolutely.
Those are having industrial experience.
Absolutely, sir. Right.
And definitely, I'm interested to build up a bridge in between academician and industrialist.
Yes, sir. Very necessary.
Yeah.
Very necessary. Because there
Correct.
are candidates who are working in such fellowships outside India. And
Yeah.
when I went for an internship, I saw that it was a very targeted project. They just worked in that project wholeheartedly for maybe, say, 3 or 4 years. And right then after that, they got absorbed in the industry because it was an industry sponsored project.
Very
So
true.
if we can have such a bridge in our country also, I think that will be very helpful for people like, people who are aspiring to join industry now.
Just before
Absolutely.
2 days, Honorable Modi ji also stressed on the same point. That is how many problems of industries have solved by academicians in India.
Right. Right.
And that we should do. Now we'll stress.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you
Okay,
so
we'll
much.
give
What
stress on that.
coming
Yes,
to your question, yes, what he asked is about that some any example. Just now, one I have aware about one example of that is BCIL. One is
BCIL.
that BCIL,
Yes.
that is
Yes.
Biotech
Yes.
Consortium India Limited.
Right.
So
Right.
this is a public limited company which is funded by I think DBT, Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of India. So
Right.
such institute will provide to the placement and training to the students into the industry for some
Yes.
period.
Yes. Even sir, BIRAC is also, I think, into it. BIRAC. I have
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
a
yeah.
few things. Yeah, BIRAC.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. We can take a last question now, and one another instruction to all participants. If you want to further information about the Biocon Academy and related courses, you can chat me in my WhatsApp number. I will share with my WhatsApp number. And our last question is by Prajakta Palanade. Prajakta, are you online? Prajakta, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
please.
So my question is, in pharmaceutical industry, there is a quality control department. So in this quality control department, are various other fields are also included. So being a microbiologist, we should only work in microbiology department or any other department also.
No, you are open to all departments. It is not that we should only work in the department of microbiology. You can work in the different department of quality control, quality assurance, manufacturing, process development, bioprocess engineering. So all kind department you can expose.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Prajakta, I can add one thing to this is, you should not restrict yourself to work in one area or one section. Rather, you should develop a multi-skilling.
Okay,
We microbiologists have an advantage that we know microbiology and we can learn basic chemistry or analytical work which is being done in quality control, whereas it is unidirectional or semi-permeable membrane kind of working. We know chemistry, little bit of it. We can work in chemistry, we can do analytical part, but the technique which we learn and get trained in microbiology, like transfer, inoculation, the streaking of plate, a normal chemist cannot do. So you have an added advantage that you can work in instrumentation, you can work in analytical part of wet lab, you can work in a water area, water analysis part, you can do validation. But the chemist who is only a BSc or MSc chemistry or organic chemist and having no background of, microbiology or bio part of it, he cannot work in microbiology. So you can have an advantage and you can develop a multi-skilling in that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So that's
Thank
a
you for
better
giving such a
experience. Yes,
valuable.
Ujjwal, right, I am?
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. We as a
Sir, one.
microbiologist, we have an advantage to work in other department and not the reverse way.
Yes, sir. Yes. One last question, sir, only asked by Prarthana Patel. He's our as a faculty in a microwave department from Sanjivani College. Prarthana, are you online? Prarthana Patel, madam. Prarthana, ma'am. Patel, ma'am, are you online? Yeah. She's asking, sir. BCIL take a one entrance for student, and on that basis, they give a training for 6 months.
Right.
On further performance of candidate, they recruit into other industry, and it's only for the biotechnology student, not for micro, BC or MSc. Okay, she has given some guidelines to the students also.
Okay.
Yeah, is it okay? Okay, fine. Thank you, Patel ma'am. I think, sir, we have to conclude today's session. Anybody is interested to ask the question, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
As a Mangesh sir said, identify which area we want to interested or want to work. So I decided to do lots of day. I decided that in the R&D. So what's procedure? What I have to do in after my post graduation? And second question is about you told one girl asked about microbiology or they microbiology as a microbiologist they have a lots of aspect to work. Being as a biotechnologist, what are aspects in as a work in pharmaceuticals? What are different ways or different opportunities being as a biotechnologist?
Ajit, whether you work in R&D or in but generally I suggest if somebody wants to work in industry and that too in a research and development or process development, one has to at least pursue for higher studies like PhD minimum. Maybe if you do postdoc and all, that's added advantage for that. But if you want to work in quality control, if you want to work in production, if you want to work in marketing, I think post-graduation, at least the post-graduation would be enough, I would say, at this point of time.
Okay.
Rest of the things, I think this will be a little more to elaborate on this. Maybe sometime I shared my number. We can discuss it some other time. I think.
Okay, sir. Okay, sure, sir. Sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Now we are in the last phase of this session. Vote of thanks. I request Deepak Pisote. Deepak, are you online?
Yes, sir. Good evening to all
Yeah,
of
he's a
you.
student of our. Yeah, please. I request
sir.
Deepak for vote of thanks.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to the vote of thanks. Sir, it was a wonderful evening for all of us. That is our guests like Ujwal sir and the Mangesh sir, given us guidance related to the biopharmaceutical industry and how to enter into the biopharmaceutical industry and given the answers to the curious minds. So thank you for your wonderful presence and thank you to Dr. Deshmukh sir and Dr. Daikar sir to coordinate this section and thank you to all participants to participating in this session. Thank you all.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Deepak. Deshmukh sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. Now it's a very good session. You can conclude.
Sir,
and,
any sir, yeah. Yeah,
very
we can
soon
conclude.
we'll arrange a lecture
really,
of-
it's a very nice session, sir.
Very soon we'll arrange a lecture series only for pharmaceutical students.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Really,
Okay,
thank you,
then.
sir.
Yes. So now